Hi there, and welcome to the second in this series of devotions called Ageing with Grace. My name is Di, and I'm a member of the Andover Baptist Church community, and I'm delighted you've joined me today. Yesterday we considered the example shown us by a small child, and today we're going to have a look at a young man, a follower of Jesus, who was appointed to a very responsible leadership role. Paul, one of Jesus' most influential followers, had travelled around Europe and other parts of the world telling people about Jesus, and one of his closest companions was a young man called Timothy. Paul sent Timothy to a place called Ephesus to lead the church there for a while and address a number of problems it was facing. Timothy was probably in his early 30s and would have been considered very young indeed for such a role. As a young minister, he faced all sorts of pressures, conflicts and challenges from the church and his surrounding culture, and Paul wrote to him to give him encouragement and practical advice. The first of Paul's letters to Timothy is in the New Testament part of the Bible, and in chapter 4 he writes, "Don't let anyone think little of you because you are young. Be their ideal. Let them follow the way you teach and live. Be a pattern for them in your love, your faith, and your clean thoughts. Until I get there, read and explain the scriptures to the church. Preach God's word. Be sure to use the abilities God has given you through his prophets when the elders of the church laid their hands upon your head. Put these abilities to work. Throw yourself into your tasks so that everyone may notice your improvement and progress. Keep a close watch on all you do and think. Stay true to what is right, and God will bless you and use you to help others." Well, two things struck me about this passage. Firstly, Paul was expecting there to be difficulties because of Timothy's age. I wonder if Timothy himself was apprehensive about the scale of the job he'd been given, aware of his lack of experience in life and in leadership. And the older people in his church, how many of them were thinking, well, what does he know at his age? But the other thing I noticed was that Timothy was encouraged to recognise his talents and abilities and to use them. Paul told him that God had equipped him with those abilities and they would help him succeed in what he had to do. It might be at work, in our church or in our community, but there will be times when the very young step into positions of leadership. And being a young person in a responsible position can feel daunting, especially if you're surrounded by others who seem likely to have more experience than you do. And from the other point of view, accepting a person much younger than you as your leader can be pretty hard. But age really is just a number. Eleanor Roosevelt is quoted as saying, "Today is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest you'll ever be again." Give yourself a few moments to ponder that one. In Timothy, we see that it's not someone's age that's the key thing. It's whether or not they have the abilities and the qualities they need to do the job. Later in Paul's letter, he tells Timothy, "Never speak sharply to an older man, but plead with him respectfully, just as though he were your own father. Talk to the younger men as you would to much-loved brothers. Treat the older women as mothers and the girls as your sisters." Being a leader, whatever your age, is not about wielding power over others. Timothy's relationship with those he led was to be one of love and respect, viewing those people as family, where relationships are all important. So we older folk, let's support and encourage our young leaders, recognising that they're not the finished article yet. And young leaders, love and respect those you lead, and don't be afraid to take advice that's offered in love. We're all in it together, after all. The song I've picked for today is This Is Amazing Grace by Phil Wickham. Phil Wickham, as far as I can make out, is about the same age as Timothy was when he was called to lead the church in Ephesus. So let's be led by this young man's music to reflect a bit more on the grace of God that's freely given for us all, whatever our age. You'll find the link in the description below. Goodbye for now. I hope to see you again tomorrow.